What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Royal Brick Studios, and today in this video I'm going to be giving you a behind-the-scenes kind of look to my upcoming video, How the Hero Always Gets Away. And kind of in this video, it's just going to be a quick stop-motion about Indiana Jones and, you know, how he escapes the boulder rolling chase from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And so I kind of wanted to recreate that scene, but make it a little more funny. And so basically I'm going to run through like my thought process and how I kind of make my videos, as well as showing you some of the things like how I make my set, and things like that. So, like the first thing that I plan on doing is having Indiana Jones walk onto scene. So I'll say, you know, opening scene, Indy comes on, Indy comes into shot, just to kind of remind me what's going to happen in sequence. And then I'll go with number one, right? That's scene number one. Indiana Jones is going to come into the shot. He's going to take off his hat, because one reason I'm going to make him take off his hat, and you'll notice in the video, is because if he doesn't, on the back of Indiana Jones's face, since he has a double-sided face, he'll be walking backwards and you'll be seeing his face. So if I take off the hat and put on hair, you won't see that. And so it'll look like he's just walking into the cave without his hat. Even though that's not really how it goes in the movies, that's kind of what I'm going with, just to make it easier for me to animate and make it look a little better. And then, so take off hat, and hair is on, and then things like that. And then I'll run through really just all that happens with the boulder coming in, and then how at the end the camera pans into the shot of the crew and Luke's, Han Solo and Boba Fett come in. But basically that's kind of one thing how I start off. But how I really start off with is I get an idea, and then from that idea I will get my minifigures ready. Because to me, that way I have a visual of how they look and what they're going to do. And this may not work for some people, this may work for a lot of you. But for me, the first thing I do after I get my idea is I'll write it down, or I'll make my minifigures first. And that's just one thing that really helps me do this. And it just helps me get a basic idea of what I want to do. Next up, with the boulder, I'm just taking those from Lego Star Wars The Series Planets, and I took the Bespin one that came with Lobot and the twin cloud car, and I'm going to use this as the boulder because, you know, it rolls relatively nice, and I mean it's a ball for the boulder, and it looks kind of like rock. So that's that, and that's really just behind the scenes of basic things that I do, because, you know, like you wouldn't think. Well, my first plan was to build a Lego bulb, and then I was like, no, I've got this, and this would make it so much easier. So that's really just basic things, kind of do what's easy. Because if you're going to be animating for a long time, you want to make something that's easy and not too difficult to make. Alrighty, so then the next thing I do when I finish my script, or not script, but plot, one thing that doesn't work for me is I don't like to draw out my storyboard. Because to me, I feel like I can't get enough detail in there, so I like to write it out. And I do write big, when I'm, for this, so that way I have room in the gaps to fill in notes. And that's just something I've adapted through filming, and making videos, is I'll leave big gaps and write really big, so that way I can, you know, while I'm over here filming, I can look over here and still see what my writing. But I do like small pictures, like kind of the way things will be set up if I can't try and get if it'll take too long to explain in words. But that's basically that as far as the plot goes. And then I'll just like keep that off to the side while I'm working, and then I can keep looking back onto that, and, you know, 9 times out of 10 while I'm filming I'll think, oh, you know what, I have a better idea than what's on this sheet of paper, and I can do it better. Then another thing I tend to do is while filming, I have another table off to the side of my normal table, and there I'll keep my minifigures, I'll keep prop pieces, And I like to set them out next to their normal figure, like Indiana Jones has a gun, hair, and map, and other things like that. And to me, that just helps me really fill it out and set it out. So next up, I'm going to be building the set, and I'll show you how I do that now. Alright, so when I build my set, I like to use my big gray base plate. As you can see, this thing has been used a lot. I've got Sharpie marks on it from my camera setup. I have clay, it's been broken. But basically, it's just really good because for me, I can really build my set on this. And, if I want a different color base, then I can do that. But this way I can really kind of move it around on my table for camera angles and things like that. And I can, for me, it's just a lot better. Like I can set my camera stand on it and stick it, that way it's not going to move while I'm filming. And I can build my set directly on it. And to me, it just makes it a lot better. Some people build different size sets, but do kind of whatever helps you. For me, I like to use one big base plate. If the set's too big, I'll use other ones next to it. But this is really my main animating base plate. And I'll build my set onto this. And from there, if I'm done with that scene, I'll break it down and build a new set. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the building of the set. I'll probably do a time-lapse of that. And I may have to tear down the aquarium. Yeah, I know. I wasn't really expecting to use that many pieces, but I used like almost all of my gray pieces. So I'm going to have to totally destroy it. Hopefully I can just take down the second floor and still use it, and I'll just put the roof on the first floor. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but if I need more gray pieces, I'll definitely do that. So let's see that. Let's see here. Barrels and crates, no. Boulders, no. Ah, there it is. Foliage. One way to liven up your stop motion animation is with foliage. Unless it's an indoor thing. Then you can do like houseplants and stuff. But if you're doing an outdoor stop motion, one of the best things you can do is use lots and lots of foliage, as it helps add detail, depth, and texture, as well as color to your builds and stop motions. And so for me, using the foliage in a like cave or cavern kind of setup really helps with the color problem. And if you remember in Raiders of the Lost Ark, there was lots of foliage in that shot when he was in the cave. So that's really what I'm trying to do here, really build up that set. I started breaking down the aquarium. This is the second floor. I still have the first floor intact. That's for backup if I need more pieces. Hopefully I only have to break down the second floor. But still, I have to break down the second floor. So I'm going to be using these pieces to work on building the cavern setup and really get that nice layout. And I'll show you how it will look when I'm done. Alrighty, so it's done now. This is the for the most part finished set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go throughout and start adding foliage to really make it look like a jungle. And as you can see, the boulder does, run through it. And of course, since I'll be animating it, it'll be a lot easier, and I'll have the cast or the minifigures run through it and stuff like that. And I think it'll look really good when I'm done with that. But right now I'm going to go ahead and start adding the foliage, and the way I kind of like to do it is just kind of scatter it with different colors. I don't want like a full row of like all just green or all this just orange stuff. I like to really scatter it to help, make it look a little more organic and not make it look as though it was just, built there. So I'm going to go on through and start adding the leaves and organic things, and it already looks better with these leaves in it. And then I'm probably going to start animating. So yeah, I got the set finished. As you can see, I went on ahead and added in the foliage and all the different angles that you'll see. And I think it looks really good. You got this really jungle looking kind of terrain, and the best part about it is I can kind of film at an angle instead of filming straight on. I can kind of film at an angle to show you the depth and things like that, and I think it's going to look really nice, especially when this boulder starts rolling in and it gets up on the screen, and especially with Indiana Jones in the shot. I just really think this is going to be a really good animation and especially with this really good looking set. And the set is not just the main part of the film, it's also the characters and the story, but the set really helps set that story. The set really helps set the story. And so yeah. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, subscribe, and be sure to leave a like. And don't forget to check out the actual full-length animation of this, where this set's going to be taking place. And be sure to like that video as well. So until then, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.